Jesus, please, I'm believing for this in the new year. Like, if y'all could see my car, if y'all have seen my car, I want to be respectful of my husband. I want to be submissive. Like when you're making goals and when you're expecting God to do something and you're praying about stuff, you have to get very specific. We going up next year, okay? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Girls in Real Life podcast. I'm your host, Mariah Clayton. Happy almost New Year and Merry Christmas. I know Christmas was literally like last week, but I didn't get to talk to you guys, so I wanted to say it all together. I also have to apologize because I know I told you guys that I was going to put out an episode last week and it didn't happen. Okay, I was intending on editing all the little clips together so that we could do like our podcast year in review with all the different clips from the different episodes, and life just got the better of me and I just did not have the time to do it, so I'm very sorry. I don't like not doing what I said I was going to do, so I really do apologize, but I hope that you all had a great Christmas. What did I get for Christmas? Oh, I have to tell you guys, Justin, this man, I don't know like how he does what he does, but he's just like the best gift giver ever. And so y'all know that I have been wanting to set up my podcast studio because of the lighting situation, and obviously I'm tired of just recording in our bedroom. So there is a space in our garage that I was going to be transforming into the podcast studio, and we had always talked about it, but we had just never gotten started on getting it together. And so last week I had a couple of girls over spending the night, and I went into my podcast studio because that's where I have all of our merch, and I was giving them like free merch. So I went in there to go and get the hats that I was going to gift them for Christmas, and Justin literally like painted the whole room, set up my little desk, my chair, and like had all of my Christmas presents laid out. Not all of them, but the big Christmas presents he had laid out in there. And he came up behind me because he knew that I was going outside, and he was just like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was not expecting that at all, because I thought that it was something that honestly we were kind of going to do together. I didn't think that he would just like take the reins on it and go and have at it, but I was so surprised. It is so cute. It's pink, like everything about it. I'm just like so excited to be in that space. That we still have to decorate. We still have to like set up the wall where I'm going to be recording. We have to set up all of my equipment in there, but he did a lot of the hard work, which was the painting and getting the cabinets out of that room as well, because like I said, it's in the garage, so it used to be kind of like a workstation for the people who lived here before. So when I say that he literally transformed this room, he transformed this room, and he did it all by himself, and he did it in a span of 2 days. So I was just completely baffled. So that was like my big Christmas gift. And then he also got me a little Zoom recorder for my podcast mic, some new lights for the studio, and then he also just got me like a bunch of little things that he gave me on Christmas, like some pajamas and some Touchland hand sanitizers, some pens and highlighters, because I've been reading my Bible more and I've been highlighting a lot and just underlining a lot, and also I'm a working gal now, so he made sure that I had like pens and stuff that I could bring to work. So everything that he got me was just so thoughtful, and honestly, like that is why I love that man, and I cannot wait to be married to him. Ace's Christmas was great as well. We didn't get him too much. We got him like 5 things, I think. We got him a little toy, we got him a table because he's tired of sitting in his high chair, so we made sure we got him a table. We got him a trampoline, we got him an indoor slide. What else did we get him? Goodness. Oh, we also got him like a little Montessori kitchen set so that he can help Justin cook and like cut vegetables and skin potatoes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we didn't get him much, but he racked up at his grandparents' house, so he was not lacking in the toy department. But I remember last year, because he was so little, like me and Justin didn't even get Ace anything, and so this was our first year actually doing something for Christmas, and I feel like he's still so small that he doesn't fully understand, so I didn't feel the need to like go all out and do all the crazy things. But maybe next year will be the year where he's like able to tell us more about what he wants, and he'll fully grasp like the understanding of Christmas and like what it is. So he'll probably ask us to go crazy. But yeah, I don't believe in spending a whole bunch of money, especially when they're this young, when they're gonna cycle out of so many things so fast. So I just didn't see the point in it. But he got a lot of great things, and he's been playing nonstop with all of his toys, and he's just been so excited. It's been the cutest thing. Anyways, I am literally yapping so much, and it's because I did not get to talk to y'all last week. I'm gonna stop rambling and get into what we're really here to talk about today, which is my 2025 goals, what I'm believing God for in this new year, and just diving into all of that. I am very excited about this new year. I am very optimistic, so I wanted to just sit down and share with you guys my goals for the new year and what I am truly believing God for in this next season of my life, because I feel like I am entering another season of change. For the past 3 years, I've been just going through really, really big life changes, and this year is no different. So I just really am optimistic about what God is going to do, seeing how he's going to move in this new year, and how much I grow as a person in 2025. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with my 2025 goals. So my first goal that I have on my list, I got my little iPad right here, of 2025 is to get a new car. Jesus, please, I'm believing for this in the new year. Like my car has been through it. Okay, we have been through hell and high water together. I didn't sputtered out in the middle of the road on the interstate before. I didn't bust a tire while I was driving. I've had to shake the battery to start the car. Like, we have been through a lot together, and it has served me well. But I am ready and expecting Jesus a new car in 2025, because I just can't do it no more. If y'all could see my car, if y'all have seen my car, you would know that this is a necessity. And one thing that I don't think I've ever told you guys was that there was a rat living in there at one point, like a few weeks ago. Honestly, the first week that I started my new job, I walked out, and like I told y'all, I got to shake the little battery in order to start the car. So I popped the hood, lifted it up, and I seen a rat just staring at me. Okay, when I tell you I screamed and just went crazy, I went crazy. And come to find out, it chewed through a couple of my wires. So my car was just acting kind of funny for a few days. My air has completely stopped working in the car. Thankfully, we're in a season where it's not like super hot, so I don't need the air. The heat works, but the air doesn't work. And we tried to put the what's it called? The antifreeze, whatever. That didn't help nothing. So yeah, I don't have any air in my car. I am missing a rear view mirror. I have a hole in the front of my bumper. I have to shake the battery in order to get the car to start. So I just think all of those accumulated together, it is just time for me to get a new car. My next goal for the new year is to transform into a godly wife. Y'all know I'm getting married in the new year. I'm currently not wearing my ring because it is getting fixed at Jared. I kind of broke it. Okay, I didn't break it, but one of the prongs ended up moving on my ring, and so now the diamond is loose, and I didn't want to lose the diamond, so we brought it to the jeweler so that they could fix it and all the things. So yeah, I need to be a lot more careful with my ring. But I am getting married in March of 2025, so for me, I really just want to transform into a godly wife. And this has been a work in progress for your girl, because it's not that I had negative views of marriage, but I think I had a negative view of godly principles when it came to marriage, like being submissive. You know, we don't really like to hear that word. So I think for me, as I get closer to becoming a wife, I really just want God to transform my heart and to mend my mind to where I am open to those principles and to understand the reasoning behind them and the value behind them, and seeing like what I bring as a woman to the covenant of a marriage. And yeah, I want to have a beautiful marriage. I want to be respectful of my husband. I want to be submissive. I want to be able to have him lead me. I want to be able to just like be feminine and be soft and be the caretaker and the nurturer in my home. Like, that is what I desire to do. But I just think that it has been a work in progress for me to like break down those walls, and to especially like break down what I've seen in society, because as we know, the idea of marriage has transformed a lot from the Bible, as it should, because even back then, women didn't really have rights and men were marrying 1,000 people and had all these concubines. So like, I feel like rightfully so, it has transformed in positive ways, but I think it's also transformed in negative ways because women as a whole are in a lot of ways taking on the role of a man in a relationship and just trying to be severely independent and like provide for themselves, and like there's nothing wrong with that. But I think for me and what I'm learning in my relationship is that everything has a place and God has put things into position for perfect reason. And so the more that I'm reading my Bible and I'm getting into my word and I'm looking at all of these marriages and I'm reading the story of Ruth and I'm learning all of these principles and actually reading them for myself, I am asking God to just transform me into the woman that I need to be the best wife that I can be for Justin and for my family as a whole. And I think for me, building our marriage off of those godly principles is what's going to help us in the long run and like help us sustain our marriage. I've watched my mom be a wife to my dad my entire life and how strong their marriage is and how it's built on just this sturdy foundation that I can't even begin to pinpoint what it is. I just know that it's because they both believe in God and they put God first. And my mom is very respectful to my dad and she listens to my dad. And it's not that she doesn't give her opinion, but it's just that she respects his as well. So it's not like I don't want to say that they never fight, because obviously I've seen them fight. And now that I'm older, we talk about these things with my mom, but my mom is so graceful in the way that she responds to my dad. And she's so graceful in the way that she loves my dad. And I've always loved that about their relationship. So there are just certain things that like I need God to soften my heart on when it comes to having a godly marriage and being a godly wife. And so that is my prayer for 2025, is to just allow God to transform me into the woman that I need to be in order to be the best wife that I can be to Justin, because I want our marriage to succeed and I want our marriage to last and I want us to be happy and I want us to thrive. And I think in order for us to do that, we have to align with the principles and the guidelines that God has set for us in the Bible. So as I continue learning about that and reading about that and having God work on my heart about that, I will share that with you guys. That is going to be one of the upcoming episodes in the new year at some point, is like what God is showing me about being a godly wife and what that looks like and what I've truly realized about that taken outside of the context of society. So I think it'll be really good for me, but also for anyone else out there who is struggling with those principles like I am and have been. Ooh, that was a long one. I was talking a lot. Okay. Next goal that I have on my list is to become an iPad girly. Okay. Y'all be seeing me sit here with my little iPad and I do use it sometimes. But when I look on TikTok at all of these girlies using their iPads, I'm like, I am using my iPad completely wrong. So I really want to take advantage of my iPad this year. I want to do digital planning. I want to utilize Notion more. I just want to feel more organized in my day-to-day life. And I've tried regular planners. I use Notion on my desktop, but I really think that like this is something that I could just bring with me everywhere that I go. And it could really be a great asset to me in my day-to-day life. So I really just want to understand my iPad more. I want to make it more personal to me because it's still looking like I just got it out the store. I want to just be able to like utilize it in the way that is going to make my life a lot smoother and function a lot better. So I am learning about my iPad and I'm going to be downloading all the apps and trying the digital planning thing and just see how it goes, because I've seen so many inspiring videos that are just like, you're using your iPad wrong. Like, and I just want to use my iPad right. Okay. Because Justin spent a lot of money on his iPad and he's in the other room right now. So I'm not even going to try and talk too loud, but if he knew if he knew that I was not using my iPad in my day-to-day life, he would not be happy. So I need to get myself together. I need to get my iPad together, and I need to become an iPad girly for my sake and for his, because I just feel like it will make my life run so much smoother, so I will report back on that. My next goal is to manage my finances better. Okay. I feel like this is something that I say every year. but I never fully invest in it. That's kind of punny because I'm talking about money. I never fully invest in managing my finances better. So this year I want it to be different. I want to really track my finances, especially because I'm saving up for a car now. Like I have actual goals and things that I'm like working towards. So I just need to have a better sense of how much money is coming in, where's my money going to, budgeting, like how much money am I spending on groceries? Like, do we need to stop getting certain things, right? Like I really just want to understand my finances better and really just be financially literate, because to be honest, I'm just not. Like, I don't like math. I don't like money. It's not that I don't like money, but I don't like the technical side of money, if that makes sense. Like, it's just so many things that I don't fully understand. And I know that it's going to take an effort on my part to actually understand it. And that's where I'm just like, oh, I just don't want to. But I know that in the long run, it's what is going to help me be better. So I am praying that God allows me to have a heart that yearns to just understand my finances better and to really put forth the effort to actually understand what it is that I'm doing with my money and how I can utilize my money better. Right. Like, I am a grown adult. I am pushing 30, unfortunately. And these are just things that I need to know and that I need to understand so that I can set Ace up for the best future possible. So I need to stop being lazy and I need to stop procrastinating and really just do what I need to do in order to manage my finances better. So I really do want to do like a weekly finance tracker, maybe even a monthly one. I really want to start budgeting more. I want to start putting money aside for Ace and also for saving up for our car, for home updates, for our honeymoon, right? Like, there's so much going on in my life that I need money. And in order for me to have money, I need to manage the money that I do have a lot better than what I have been. So that is a major goal for me this year. Staying on the money track, my next goal for 2025, it's kind of specific, but I feel like when you're making goals and when you're expecting God to do something and you're praying about stuff, you have to get very specific because God is very intentional about the things that he does. So you gotta just get specific, okay? So this goal is for me to make $30,000 from social media. This could be from brand deals, from sponsorships, from ads on YouTube, etc. I chose this number because this past year I did fairly well with brand deals and making money from social media. I made about 25-ish $1,000 from social media. And this is just me being completely transparent with you guys, okay? To some, that might be a lot. To others, that might be like, oh my gosh, I thought you were making way more. So I'm just being open and honest. My goal is to make more than what I made last year, obviously. So I just felt like 30 was a good number, especially because I am also working now. So whereas last year social media was a lot of my sole income, this year it's not going to be. This year it's going to be supplemental income, which I'm really excited about because I feel like that will also help with my saving. So for me personally, my goal is to make at minimum, I'm not going to put a cap on it, but at minimum $30,000 from social media alone. That way we'll just be more comfortable. Like, we'll have more money to play with. I'll still be working with brands that I know and that I love and being able to grow my social media platform. And I think that it would just be good for me all around. So I am very excited to be able to have this as not just my sole income, but as my supplemental income to help fund other areas of my life. My next goal is to hit 10,000 podcast YouTube subscribers. We have grown so much in 2024 and I'm so proud of myself for the way that I have just continued to stick with this podcast, even when the growth was stagnant, even when hardly anybody was listening to me, even when it was a struggle to like get an episode up every single week. Like, I am so proud of myself for sticking with it and for actually taking the time to start the YouTube portion of the podcast, because it has been so beneficial for me and I know that it's been so beneficial for a lot of you guys. So this year I really want to continue to grow and scale the podcast and have 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully we surpass that, but if not, 10,000 is definitely my goal. And I just want to be able to continue helping people, inspiring people, and continue helping us break societal standards as women, because that is why this podcast exists, is to help you break societal standards and to be authentically yourself in the world. So I'm very optimistic about what is coming up on the podcast. Like I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I already have the first quarter of the year episodes outlined. All they need to do is be recorded, and there's going to be so many good ones. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too, because I just know that this is going to be such a transformative year for the podcast, and I just cannot wait to see where it takes us. So I hope that you guys stick along for the ride and for the journey, because we going up next year. Okay, my next goal is to keep God first in my daily life. It's easy to keep God first when you're going through a hard season. It's easy to keep God first when you say, okay, I'm going on a fast for this amount of time. But it's very, very, very difficult to keep God first in our daily lives. And I feel like that's something that I've realized, especially this past year, because I have been wanting to grow my relationship with God into something that has literally only just happened in the last quarter of the year, if I am being completely honest. And for me, I think what God has shown me the most is that you have to want to put him first. In society, there are so many things that come first, right? Like getting up and being on our phones, or watching TV, or trying to eat breakfast, or trying to get our kids ready for school. And it's like we wake up and we immediately go into the day without even seeking God first, without even thanking him for waking us up this morning so that we can do everything that we need to do in the day, right? So for me, as I've been waking up at 4:30 in the morning and praying and reading my Bible and spending time just with God in general, I realized how beneficial that has been for me, but also in all of the other little nuances of my life as well. And, I want to stop listening to so much secular music. I want to be listening to more Christian music, right? I want to stop listening to the super fun girly podcasts and maybe watch a sermon before I listen to one of those, right? So yes, it's been beneficial for me to like wake up early, like I said, and just spend that intimate quiet time with God. But even just as I walk in my daily life outside of those moments of intentional time, I still want to continue to choose to put God first, right? Like instead of me laying in bed and reading my book at the end of the night, let me open up and read a chapter of the Bible before I go on my Kindle and start reading for the night, right? Like it's those little tiny decisions that I think will make the biggest impact for me. So as I enter 2025, I really just want to be more intentional about choosing to put God first in every single aspect of my day-to-day life, because I think that it would just transform me in so many ways. So if you struggle with that, I want you to like ask God to help you in those areas, because I feel like even when I was on my fast in the last few weeks of this month of December, I went on a fast. That was again one of the things that God showed me, was like in my fast, it was super easy for me to like put on a sermon and to not listen to gospel music, to not listen to secular music and only listen to gospel music, because that was a part of the guidelines that I had set for my fast, right? But as soon as I ended my fast, it was almost kind of like, okay, I'm almost going right back to the way that I was. Like I'm waking up and I'm not praying. I'm going to lay down in bed and read my Kindle, but I'm not reading my Bible first. I really kind of backslid a little bit after I ended my fast. And so I just had to remember it is going to take effort to like keep God first in my day-to-day life. And it's something that I have to do, right? It's not just something that I'm going to do for a season or because I'm on a fast or because I'm going through something difficult. It's something that I'm going to continue to choose to do every single day, because this is my Lord and Savior. This is the man that came down in a fleshly body and died on the cross for my sins. So who am I to say that I don't have time when I can literally make time, So I think, again, for me personally, I want to be more intentional about putting God first in those smaller moments that we don't even really seem to think about. Before you turn on the Ariana Grande album, like let's praise and worship, let's like be intentional. Let's bring God back to the forefront of it. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy other things in life. I'm not saying that you can't ever listen to a different type of song or read a book. I'm not saying that at all, but I think that if we become more intentional about the things that we're choosing in our day-to-day life, it will obviously allow us to be closer to God and to grow in our relationship with him. And that's all that I want, you know? So again, this is for me. I want to keep God first in my daily life. I want to spend less time on my phone. I want to spend less time listening to things that are not of God. I want to spend my time filling my spirit, my mind, my ears, my eyes with things of God first. Okay, we're almost done. My next goal of 2025 is to be consistent in my habits and routines. Y'all know discipline was the big word for me last year, and I think this year is going to be consistency, because I did really great in certain seasons of this past year, being disciplined and being on top of my goals and doing my daily habits and routines and all of those things, but I would always fall off. So it was like I would do good for a month and then I would fall off for 3 months, and then I would pick it back up again for a few weeks and then I would fall off again. So for me, I really just want to be more consistent this year than I ever have been before in my routines, in my habits, in reading my word and going to the gym, you know, like all of these things. I would just want to be more consistent in it. I feel like I've found the discipline that I've been searching for a long time, and I know how to build sustainable discipline, as should you if you listen to my episode on discipline. But now in 2025, for me, it's going to be all about consistency. It's going to be all about dying to my flesh every single day and continuing to choose to be disciplined and to be consistent with my discipline. So that's going to be probably my word of 2025, is just be consistent, girl. Like, you know what you need to do. Now you just need to do it. This is the last goal that I have on my list. I'll probably add a little bit more, honestly, but just for the sake of ending today's episode, this is where it will land. But my last goal that I have for 2025 is to be more conscious of my health and wellness. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, your girl is pushing 30, and as much as I hate to say it, there are just a lot of things that I feel like I need more of now than I did before, and that just comes with getting older and your body changing and your metabolism changing and your hormones changing, right? Like everything is changing at this point in time. So for me, I just want to be more intentional about my health and wellness and really dive into that world, because I've never really been in, like, I've never gone as far as the working out side of it. You know, like I can work out, I can push myself to the limit, I can go on a run, I can lift heavy weights, I can do the thing. But when it comes to my water intake, when it comes to eating healthy meals, when it comes to taking supplements and vitamins, okay, this is where I lack. This is where I fall off. So I really just want to be more intentional about my health and wellness as I enter into the new year, because I know and understand that there are things that I need to be doing to upkeep my body. And I think for me personally, something that I've struggled with for a long time is that I like to think that I can do it all, and I like to think that my body can do it all, and it doesn't need any outside help. It doesn't need any outside support. Like, I have been equipped with everything that I need to be strong, to be healthy, and to be good. But that is just not the case. So that is why it's hard for me to like take vitamins and to do my greens and all of these things that I see all these other people doing, because it's like, I don't need that. Like, I'm good. My body doesn't need that. I'm healthy. I'm thriving, like whatever. But it's like, no, I actually do need that, because maybe if your diet was better, you wouldn't need it, but it's not good. So you need to be actually taking these daily vitamins. You need to be taking your greens every single morning. You need to be doing all of these extra things and having these supplements, because that is what's going to keep you healthy and strong. And so for me, it's going to take a big mindset shift to get out of that and thinking that like I'm relying on an outside force to help me, where it's more so like I'm just supplementing what my body has already given me, you know? And I need to switch my mindset on that. I know that I do, because I've struggled with it for a long time. It's the reason why I didn't drink for a long time, or why I never did drugs in college. And it's because I never wanted an outside force to have an internal effect on my body. And I mean, yeah, that's great to not do drugs and to not drink alcohol, but obviously I drink alcohol now. So I'm like, if I can drink a couple of glasses of wine and be all right, I can take a few vitamins and be just fine. Okay. So yeah, like I said, that's where we're going to end today. That is the last goal that I have written on my list for 2025, but I would love to hear what you guys' goals are, what you're believing God for in 2025. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Hopefully within the next few episodes, we will be out of this room and into our podcast studio. I am so excited for you guys to see just the finished space and to have a place that we will be able to call home, you know? So anyways, if you guys like this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. Give me a like, a comment, a 5-star rating. I hope that you guys have a great and safe New Year's. Cheers to 2025. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Have a great Monday, a great week, and I'll talk to you in my next episode. Bye.